I want to shift gears. I want to talk about Adrian Peterson. I lived in Minnesota for years growing up. When I was growing up, I loved Adrian Peterson. I used to have an Adrian Peterson poster in my bedroom. Now that being said, the NFL is changing. In today's NFL, Christian McCaffrey is more of a hot commodity than Leonard Fournette. A guy like Leonard Fournette, a big bruising running back. That's not a shot at Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette's going to have a productive year for the Jaguars, and they're going to lean on him a ton. Regardless, when the Saints picked up Adrian Peterson, I was dumbfounded. I was confused. There isn't much of a place for Adrian Peterson on the Saints roster. Even if the guy wasn't 32, even if Adrian Peterson's body wasn't a wreck, he still can't catch the ball out of the backfield. See, when the Saints signed him, I was like, what? The Saints use running backs as receivers, and Adrian Peterson doesn't fit their system. He has got horrible hands. He's just not a guy that fits in their system. I remember watching Adrian Peterson sign his contract to the Saints, and I was like, man, why didn't the Bills sign him? They could have hyped it up a ton. They could have signed him for a couple million, put a bunch of butts in seats, a conditional contract. He would have worked well in Buffalo, and he would have sold tickets. But if you ask me, Adrian Peterson is very clearly a backup. People tell me, look at Adrian Peterson's accomplishments. He won MVP. He used to rush for thousands of yards. Exactly. When people tell me to look at what Adrian Peterson has done, they look at his accomplishments in this league. That actually strengthens my point that he's done in the NFL. You wouldn't buy a car with 300,000 miles on it. That's not a smart business decision. That's a bad purchasing decision. And you really wouldn't buy a car with 300,000 miles on it and a bad transmission. Adrian Peterson has knee issues. He's a clunker with 300,000 miles and a bad transmission. Adrian Peterson tore his meniscus last season. Not to mention there's a ton of miles on that sports car already. He's like an old car that's been totaled. Stay away from Adrian Peterson. And now he's sniping at his coach? Similar to Colin Kaepernick, Adrian Peterson thinks he's worth far more than he actually is. Also, there's this thing that happened on Monday on the sideline. I shouldn't try to read lips, but I watched the clip and I'll try to read it anyways. It looked like Adrian Peterson was saying, we need to run it up there. Well, the next word's inappropriate for this show, but he appeared to say he wanted to run the ball right at the Vikings. You put two and two together. Right now, this makes Adrian Peterson look delusional. I don't know what else was said, but I can inference that AP is a little bit out of touch. He went for a team. He went to a team. His new team, the New Orleans Saints, throws around 5,000 yards every season. So that's why the Saints signing never made sense to me. The fact that he had 6 carries and 18 yards on Monday only makes this an easier point to make. The Saints don't have a role for Adrian Peterson. He doesn't fit in New Orleans. And okay, that's fine. He doesn't fit. I'm not against Adrian Peterson, nothing personal. I don't think he's a good fit in New Orleans, and I think it's a little bit overhyped. I think he's a bad match there.